Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and welcome to Face Behind the Scenes. As you can see right behind me, we've been given exclusive access to the MTA studios, production team and even the judges who will ask some questions. So why don't you come in and take a look at what's going on. So here we are right now in the MTA studios. The Face program has just ended, the live show, but of course that is not where it ends for our social media viewers. Jalil Saab, the producer of the show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Of course, the show just ended. This is the first episode. How did it go?
The first episode of the second season. Good feedback, a lot of tweets from people viewing it at home. Yeah, it was really good.
Is it okay if I quickly grab a talk with the judges and the panelists?
Take a seat.
So of course, Face second season. Alhamdulillah, first show, great success.
Yeah.
It's an international competition. Right. Could you just tell us a little bit about the array of people that took part in the competition?
So we had, I can list a name of countries. We had people from Oman, Ghana, Sierra Leone, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, many countries of Africa, Europe as well.
One thing I noticed was the increased participation from Africa. Yeah. Last time we didn't have that much, and even from wider than Africa. Last time it was dominated by a few countries. It was the first show, but this time it's really nice to see a much greater variety of people, especially from Africa, from around the world, and that's a big improvement from last time.
If you had been given the chance to answer this question, how would you have maybe changed how you answered that question?
I was just speaking to Qasid and saying that now when I think about it in hindsight, I think I may have come off as a bit harsh or overly critical, but no. Off the top of the first and foremost thing is that all of the contestants, they made wonderful points, and if you give quick points, then you will have covered everything in a quick 3 minute
thing.
It's
all about putting points in the maximum amount of time. Khalil Saab, you mentioned this. It's easy to say things in hindsight, but going forward, if someone's put into a situation where they have to answer a tough question in a couple of seconds even, on a radio show, on some sort of show on TV, how should they set out their answer?
But the important thing is not to stand on ceremony. When you're with the media, you really have a very short period of time in order to answer, and the important thing is to get absolutely to the point. And so if somebody asks you a question about polygamy and the rights of women or the rights of men or the various responsibilities, the important thing is to make sure that you give an answer in 2 sentences right in the beginning.
Okay, that's a really good, practical tips right there. Qamar Saab, this is your second time, judging in this competition. I hope you've seen some improvement in the way people have presented their arguments. You mentioned a lot about going back to sources. As a Muslim, an Ahmadi Muslim, you can find a lot of content online, and it's easy to get caught up into many different things. What should be the fundamental things one should look to when trying to answer a question?
I think we do encourage people to bring their personal opinions and research, but sometimes people forget to go to the source. I'll give you one example, which Hazur mentioned in his Friday sermon. He mentioned that when Khwaja Kamaluddin Saab, the companion of the Prophet Messiah, came to London, one technique, and he mentioned this in the khutbah, one technique he had is he would just literally almost copy and paste the sermons of the Promised Messiah, a number of lectures, then he would just slightly adjust it to the local context, and he would literally repeat it verbatim, and he achieved huge success. So if we go back to that true source of the Promised Messiah, his khulafa, we can't go wrong.
So in a nutshell, if I was to now answer a question in the next year, I would make sure that I do take as many points in the shortest time as possible, try and structure my argument, making sure that I give the answer in the beginning and the end, and also go back to the source, the Quran, and especially the quotes and sayings of the Khulafa and the Promised Messiah, peace be upon him. I think, would I be in a good chance of winning the show then?
It's perfectly, that is absolutely right. But one thing is, I've got to hand it to the Khuddam. Right. We have participants, and it's not easy getting in front of a camera.
Of course.
Even if no one's going to watch it, or even if that no one's on the other side of the camera, to do it, it's very difficult because, like Ayaz Saab said, he may have been a bit too harsh. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment on that. I don't think personally he was too harsh, but that's the thing. You don't know how you sound.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this time. But Qamar Saab, thank you very much, and we look forward to next week. Jazakallah, judges. Next week, of course, same time, Sunday, 7 p.m. We're going to have the Face live show. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.